Alright, it's showtime. Let's see. Get the mic up here. Can everybody hear me? Wow, this thing's weird. Get a scene up here. How's everybody doing tonight? Sorry for the slight delay in show starting time. I was gonna do it at 5, but when the sister needs something done, I do it. So we're gonna go tonight. We're just gonna go for 3 hours tonight, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I might take like a 5 minute break in there, but we shall see. I've been running around all day. First things first, though, I have to send out a huge. It can't even be big enough. Thank you to around to at 444. If you look at my donation bar down there, um, he donated the rest of the money for my mission trip. So thank you so much for that. That's absolutely amazing. I don't have words. I really don't. So all he asks is if it's possible, can we have some extra fruit types for planting? And yes, we will. I guarantee it. We'll definitely scan around and see what we can add in when the time comes for extra fruit types. Uh, Without further ado, tonight I think we're going to look in each of the zones and we're going to try to set up areas where the shops for each of the zones will be. And uh, yeah, we'll go from there. So, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. And I was just scouting around looking at these crazy intersections. Some of them I'm going to take out, but I'm going to run down through here with this one and kind of build a little town area behind these. Salius, thank you for the host. Kind of build a little town area for this zone over here out in the back. Town area, so we'll have some sell points in each of the zones as we go. So we're going to try to mark those out. But boy, this road needs some work. Let's see if we can fix up these intersections a little bit before we get going. Let's see. There we go. Just make them so that they're proper here. I'm going to extend that one intersection right there. I'm probably going to take out a couple of these as we go, but we got to get some just the areas designated for each of the shops in each of the zones where there's going to be shops so we know where we can't put fields and then we can get back into creating fields and everything. So we're going to run this through here straight on through. I wonder if it's the same height as the railroad. Yeah, looks like it'll work. A little bit of adjustment, but run our road right down and we'll get eventually the railroad crossings in so you're not hitting a big bump as you're going through. So how's everybody doing? I had an interesting day by all, yeah. So if you were here last night, I mentioned that I was getting a text. A friend of mine got a buck, an 8 point buck, and he asked me after I got off the air last night if I wanted to come over and help him carve it up, and I've never done that before. His father was a butcher, so he was trained well. And I was learning from someone good. So yeah, I went over there for a few hours today and carved up the deer. And I have about 10 pounds of steaks in my fridge from it, venison steaks, which is kind of cool. And then while I was over there, they baked me a lemon meringue pie. That's upstairs waiting for me to eat it as well. So that was good. But the biggest surprise was definitely as I'm sitting there covered in meat, um, my phone buzzes and I'm like, all right, who's bugging me now? And it wasn't anybody bugging me. This is only, we don't want that piece. It was my PayPal donation of $1,000, and I literally was floored. So, wow. I don't even know what to say. That's just incredible. That is basically I'm not going to be baking cookies. I will be here now through uh up until the time that I'm going to be leaving. I want to get the right piece. I think it's Street 100, but let's see. We'll bring one of these over. Yeah, I don't have to worry about raising money elsewhere, so we're going to do multiple shows every week as time permits. Uh, I will not be online tomorrow. Basically, Wednesday nights I work with the youth group, so Wednesday nights are pretty much out. Um, gonna be busy with that, and then Thursday we'll see what happens. I think I'll be back for Thursday if nothing else happens in between now and then. But we'll try to get as many hours as we can on this map before I leave for Christmas on that Dominican trip. Any further donations that come in as well. Um, interesting story is uh, I just found out that I'm going on this trip literally phew, just couple weeks ago, a few weeks maybe now. And there are several people that I know, 11, including my brother-in-law, who is who are also going on the trip. And some of these people knew about them going for months, basically. I've only known for a couple weeks, and most of the people have not raised all their money yet. So I will be able to, if anything else comes in for that, help some of those other people out as well. It's just amazing. Hello, KW. Good to have you. We're doing super good. Another great day in the world of Farming Simulator. I'm going to bring our road through and make a little area down here for a housing project. Or actually, just going to be like a little town. Theoretically, I'm not going to do all the moving of the buildings. I'm just going to make the places right now because as far as sell points go, they're going to be mixed up a little. We'll probably bring in some new ones. We'll have some of the other ones, but products and everything are going to change. So, especially now that we're going to be definitely going to be bringing in some new fruits for around to it. Anybody know any maps? Actually, you guys can help me out there. What kind of fruits are out there? I've always steered away from the triticale because it's like a hybrid, I think, of wheat and rye or something. But if we need to use it, we'll use it. I don't know what other maps have as far as planted fruits on them, but I gotta scan and find some files to bring in some new fruits, so we'll be doing that. If anybody knows of one that they really like, uh, that they'd like to see, I'm going to build my railroad crossing right across the top of that road eventually. We'll put it right in on top of it. So we'll leave the road there. And keep on trucking. I want to fix this spot right here. So we'll go down here and then we'll break off and go a little bit. We're going to keep going. Hello, Manu. Good night to you. So yeah, well, let's see how far we can get on this thing before Christmas. We'll just keep plugging away, and you will start to see it take shape. We'll get some more green fields and more. Yeah, I want to get these areas marked so I know where they're going to be. Then we can start really working in the fields and the terrain around them. So we'll bring our roads in, figure out where we're going to put them. There's so much room down here, but we're going to go like two more segments and then do a crossroad. Then we'll have plenty of room to build a street. Basically, it's just going to be like a street down here with shops off of both sides, maybe a couple blocks built in. It might be a good. Hmm. I'm going to try something. Hold my beer. I'm going to try something. So we got to bring that ground level up through here a little bit more along my road. Let's make a big circle so I have a good starting point. And as we go left to right, we're going to have to do the same thing, but we'll level the whole area eventually. All right, so we're going to go down. What I was just thinking is, I wonder if there's a way that I can make my town with the road that JS Rock made me. We can have a two-lane highway, wider highway through the town area. If I can make it so that our intersections don't look funky between the two. Because that'd be one quick way to bring in a big road piece. Um, Definitely gonna, if I use this, I could put a stop sign there, I suppose, and just have it merge in to the other road. Although I won't be able, no, I'm gonna use the regular roads because I gotta be able to curve it around too. So we might find a use for these eventually. Next map, maybe. Let's do what we've been doing. I want to go back side to side down there. I need to get uh, somewhere out here. There's a T piece. There's one right there. Bring that one over. So yeah, we're gonna have a pretty good street back here. And that one has to be scaled down a little bit. Oh, wrong way. 1.3. 1.25. There we go. And it's a little bit high. There we are. So we'll run another one of these down here too. I'm going to have to do a little magic. I wonder if There's going to be fields up here. We'll probably run one road, but we're not going to need all these here. So we're going to have to repair this a little bit, but I'm going to try to take this one and move it on down so I can go between the other factories. We have a little piece there too. And look at that. It's not even the same size as the one that I'm putting it. It's a little smaller. Okay. Hmm. Tell you what, I don't like it. I'm going to get rid of it for now. We'll make it work when we get to the other intersection. The lines didn't quite line up. This one isn't either, but it should. If I stretch it out, they'll be a little bit better. Whoops, wrong way. Isn't that weird? The lines on the side of the road are actually wider than I want, so when in doubt, let's figure this out. This piece right here actually is the problem. The one I'm butting it up against. This short one doesn't line up with the other one behind it, so we'll bring in some big pieces. Whoops, didn't mean that. I keep forgetting which way you gotta scale. That'll be a little bit better. It's more like 1.45, something like that. I don't know why when he designed it, he has all these scaled differently, but who knows? All right. I don't even want this intersection. That's kind of redundant right next to the other one, so I'm going to keep moving it down. Clean it up a little. Do some road work. Does it line up? No, see, this one, it's going to do. I'm a little picky when it comes to that stuff. Even though most people wouldn't notice the lines just in that one section a little bit wider than the others. The only thing I really don't like is when there's a small gap between my road sections. Sometimes you gotta click off them because that blue line is filling up. It looks good. So this is gonna go right about here. And this piece needs to be widened. And 1.105, 103. Just there we go. Fill the gap in. Things are great here in the home front, Eagle. It's been a great day. Uh, yeah, no complaints from me. That's for sure. Having a good day and just happy to be able to continue working on this map rather than out collecting for my DR trip is a huge sigh of relief. I really honestly was hoping I'd have the money in time for when I go and wasn't sure, but here we are. Thanks to around to it with all the donations for that trip. I actually might be able to start getting some money together for Christmas presents. I was putting Christmas off this year with that trip money, but yeah, I was gonna, let's see, get that lined up a little better. That's pretty close. Is that? Yeah, it's a 100 meter piece. Looks so small sometimes when I'm up in editor here. Although I've been running around like crazy today, and I actually kind of might smell a little bit like venison right now. That's that weird smell I smell because I never even got to shower when I got back home from doing that. But I had some though. It's delicious. Yeah, well, I actually love doing this part of the map and start seeing the layout. And as I go through, if you only knew what was inside my head, as I look at these areas, I have ideas where mountain ranges and stuff are going to appear, and I kind of can visualize what I'm going to have it look like around the factories a little bit. So I might even, I'm going to have to do something here at some point, but we'll fix that later. I'm going to run a road across the front of those factories eventually. Right now, my main goal is to just get the areas marked for extra shops and stuff so we can color up a lot of huge fields around here. And that is going to be back here. Fix the railroad crossing when I get this whole segment down. See the little gap there. That is actually very noticeable in the game if you leave a gap. Oh, I guess I could turn off that little note. I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Yeah, let's remove the little show will start because it started. I typed it in there. We're here. We're here till we'll go to 10. I have to get the kids ready for school in the morning. So we'll go till 10 tonight. Get a good 3 hour show in here. And if I can make it tomorrow, it would be an early show. It's kind of hard to tell But when I say early, I'd have to start it by 2 p.m. and finish up by 4. So we'll see if I can squeeze it in or not. It's hard to say. But if I can, we'll get back here. I do have to do some research too, though. I didn't get a chance to on factory buildings and new buildings to bring in, and new crop types, new fruit types to bring into the map. We had quite a few if anybody who's around since Farm Sim 2013. We actually grew watermelons and cabbages on the fields, and oh, I we had strawberry fields, not greenhouses, but we had actually strawberries in the fields and several other different ones, but the graphics files would have to all be redone to put those in. Let's slide this down and see if we create another one of these. With the new fruit types will be coming probably some new factory stuff. We'll have to work in what we can. When we do the factory overhaul, the fruit's going to have to come in first so we can redistribute stuff. See how close we came to lining this up. I think we did a pretty good job. Yes, indeed. So that road will come down through there, and I'm thinking of maybe doing one more through here. I don't know. Maybe I'll just run some fields down through there. Let's bring the road across, and we'll have a nice strip for building some factories back, or not factories, some shops along back here. And rotate that. As you can see, it's just piecing together. We probably will have we're gonna have to make that a little bit bigger. We'll probably have a few cross streets down here. I'm kind of doing the border, so I'll just pop out one of these sections in here and put a T in and fill it in, and we'll have another cross street that comes, but I'm just kind of laying out. So I know not to put fields in this area, and I'm going to do the same thing down this way, so we'll be able to put some fields and stuff. Mountains, fields, whatever we decide to do back here. We've got a forest down there too on this section. We'll just keep plugging away. How long have I been map building? Actually, I believe it was October 2013 when Farm Sim 2013 came. Actually, October 2012, I think it was. So about 5 years now. I started with Farming Simulator 2013, and I literally wouldn't even call it map making more. It's how he started. Moved a couple trees out of my way and then did a little bit more. And before I knew it, I wanted to make my own map. And the very first Pleasant Valley was born. I threw it up on FSUK, and Uh, yeah, it's been history since then. A guy contacted me, wanted to run it on a server because it was a 4X map, and then a guy named Zaladar, and then we started up a server. He set up the first website even, and he did script writing. So he worked with me on creating some new techniques back then to do some new things, and the maps have just it's kind of fun. If you look back on my the making of the history of Pleasant Valley videos, which I did a while ago, you'll be able to go through and see how many renditions of the map and how it's progressed over the years into what it is, what they've become now. Um, Much more detail. I mean, the first one was pretty much a flat field, and now we're getting in there. So I pretty much know about where the boundary is going to go. I'm not going to do all the road right now because it'll bore you to death. But I do know that this whole area up here will be vacant for fields. So I'm going to start painting in some lots of green grass around here, and we're going to have at it with some huge fields out here. Get some big fields drawn in. You think the other fields were big? Wait till you see the ones that are coming with all this land. There'll be some monsters. We'll leave some spaces and build some mountains in and some terrain details as we're going along here. But I'm going to bring the grass out quite a ways around this farm. The way I look at it, the more of the brown I turn to green, the closer, or at least some color, the closer we are to getting it finished. So let's paint some green. There's a lot of not green. We're not even at the halfway point with fields and everything. Hey, never back down. How you doing tonight? Not much, just chilling in Indiana. And it's probably chilly in India. How is the weather out in Indiana? It's cool out here, but we had a nice day today. 50 degrees wasn't too bad. For this time of year, I'll take 50. That was the high. This time of year, though, I'd rather be in Australia. Springtime over there. I could do without the winter. The snow is coming. We've got lots of area around here, but it's not all going to be fields. I'm just going to, it's funny, but you can't see where I painted out this direction. I'm going to bring in a couple more fields, and then we're going to do some other terrain areas around here to mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit less flat and boring. Might even bring in a couple ponds or something, just to make it cool. But we're going to definitely get a huge field right over here. One of the big ones. And we got something going on. There's kind of a break in the mountainside. So I've got all these silos. They're going to be replaced with new stations, all these individuals. So all these small silos, da, 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 da. Whoa, where do they start? There's the transform group. Watch how many. We're going to zap them all for now. Let's see how many there are. Lots everywhere. They're from all the old train stations. We're going to do bigger train stations. We won't need these little substations when we get going, so we'll get rid of some of those pieces. I'm going to have to figure out how I want this area to go before I bring in all these here have to. Well, that is a triggers. Uh, we can leave the triggers behind. They won't annoy me as much until I got to replace them and rework a lot of things. But these are all the ground decals. I have them saved. I am gonna get rid of most of my ground decals and replace them afterwards. Just make it easier, clean this mess up. We'll take all these through here and get rid of those. And we've got quite a few extras of these unloading pits. I'll leave one on the map so I can duplicate it later. Uh, we'll leave the first one. Get rid of all the rest of them here for now. And let's see what we're going to do. What do we got? We've got a river here. We've got a farm up here. We can cross over. We'll bring a dirt road or something through straight up to the other farm, put a bridge in. So I'm just going to kind of give myself a place. Yeah, we'll draw a little bit of a road just so we kind of know about where it's going to be. Um, I think we want to get it off of a straight section. It'll make it easier. Oh, that's going uphill. I think I can run it right off of here, straight on through. Let me draw something in temporarily, just uh, get a better idea where a road is going to be. We need to, we'll grab some gravel and just draw. Oops, what are we on? Smooth? No, we're on replace. It doesn't like to put gravel down. Must be too many textures in the box on that side. It's yeah, it's just a tricky. Don't mind the mess. We'll fix it up later. I'm just doing this kind of quick. I just want to get down to where we know we're connecting zones together. Uh, it's not going to be fun to cross the railroad there. Maybe we'll turn it out a little bit in this direction. It'll kind of go down to the train station. Come on. I'm going to bring it out quite a... Man, doesn't want to draw in. There. It's just the weird placement of the textures. Now this might even get thinner later on. I'm just getting a rough estimate of where I want to bring this through. I'll bring it over a little further. I'm using the gravel roads. They might turn into dirt roads in places, but there's going to be some hills and stuff coming through, so we're not going to use the paved roads through this section connecting these two zones. As a matter of fact, there's a little bit of a hill right there. And I'll clean that stuff up later. Scottish Sonic, thank you for the host. Kind of like the factories now. The factories are pretty cool. They're going to be reworked to give you more spacious, and they're going to be a lot better in this version. That's for sure. When we get there, we're going to do rework each and every factory one at a time to give it more space on their lots and just kind of see what we can add, different, mix it up a little bit, see what this 16x map can hold. That is the question. How big is this file gonna be when we're done? It's gonna be pretty big, but when do I think I'll be finished? Like I said, I have no idea. Not this year. Um, unless for some reason it's a miracle. But I was originally planning like middle of next year. I'm hoping we can get this nailed down by March though. March would be nice. That's my goal. And then I will have enough time to not throw together, but work on a single size map after that. So we're going to have to put a bridge in right here. And I'm going to have to kind of eyeball. That looks pretty good where the road's going to go across. Yes, that would be ideal situation. But there's so much to do. That's my goal to try to set, but the real goal is to have it before Farming Sim 2019 comes out. Next year is not far away. It'll definitely be next year. Um, I don't know. So we will figure that out as we go. As we're designing here through the rest of this month and up until Christmas. By Christmas, we should have a much better idea of where we stand and what's left. And there's always the possibility, like I said before, of releasing. I've got ridges and everything to take out eventually out of this road. It's just kind of marking it. Of releasing the map with the current factories and then reworking them one at a time. The map definitely has to be to a point where we know what's going to be in it, all fruit types and everything, so that you guys won't have to restart your save games. We should probably get this out of here and put some dirt down in here so we're not blending the stone in. Da-da-da, rough dirt. What brush size? We're at a 5 because I'm going to just... This used to be a mountain and it's not, but it will be a pass somewhere through here. Back to our gravel. And actually, you know what I just thought of too, which would be kind of cool. This whole zone up here is going to need uh, a village area, and I'll probably put it right down toward this side. Sell points and stuff, but I'm going to also bring that mountain back over a little bit later on, extend that all the way over here, and this will probably be a mountain pass going through eventually. It doesn't look like it now, but stay tuned in the next few months. It's going to look quite different. But this is just to give me an idea of how far I can bring that field that I'm going to be making in a minute over to this side, and where I'm going to start a new one on the other side. So we got a better idea where this grass can come over to. Fill in a little bit right through here. Possible to make traffic lights on the roads. I'm not sure what there is available out there for traffic lights. I know there's some railroad crossings we'll have to look into for the railroads. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Also, it's details like that on a 16x map that sometimes have to be sacrificed to get all this other stuff in that I'm going to be working on. So we'll see. That right now is not in the plans because that's part of the plans hasn't even come close to being thought about yet. The traffic lights and the details, road signs are definitely going to come in. Uh, and directions, we'll try to get some directional signs, but still, they're way down there too. All right, we're going to, and thank you, Delta 6 Echo, for the follow. Let's get into our terrain detail mode and draw in a field over here with a pretty big area in between it. I'm going to actually leave quite a bit of space because I want to have some details running through here. Uh, so the space that's in between fields, just to drive you guys crazy, is going to fill in with stuff, or you can combine them. But we're going to have roads coming through, some trees around those roads. The fields themselves will be far enough away that you won't run into the trees, but yeah, we got to make it look good. And I might extend it out later. This is just preliminary. So I'm going to leave quite a bit of extra space right now between these fields. The map has plenty of space, that's for sure. No need to have fields right on top of each other, but we still want to be able to combine them if we need, if we feel like it. Some of them anyway, to make larger fields. As if this field isn't going to be large enough. Because it's going to go all the way down. I wonder how many fields we're going to end up with. I'm hoping we have about the same as on PV3, which is in the 80s, but just humongous ones. That would be nice. Or less than. We shall see. Did I take care of that bump? I don't think I did yet. Nope. I know which one you're talking about. I forgot all about that bump up there, but we'll get to there when we're working on that farm again. Yeah, there's a nice bump in the field up there. Or we'll do that in a little bit. Maybe right after we draw this field so I don't forget. But I'll probably forget by then. So we're going to bring it down to, and this is how we do this. So they're squared up pretty good. Whoops. Come on. There you go. Now I know where to make the turn. Whoops. Overdone did that one. There we go. So this one's going to pretty much stop there and go this direction. Ground looks a little funky right there, doesn't it? I don't know what that dark spot is. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep going out there. Cause around to it wants huge fields. So he shall get him some huge ones. Actually, because there's so much land, what else are we gonna do with it? Do I have a rough idea of the way I want the map, or am I just going with the flow? I have a rough idea, and I go with the flow on the rest. I literally, it's a combination. I know things that I want in here and where the placement's going, and I do let the map dictate how things are gonna go as I'm building, uh, to some extent. But I do have features that I will bring in that will make it into a unique thing. It isn't cut and dry. Nothing is as far as how it's gonna end up. Uh, I know features that I like to see in it, and they will appear. How far do I want to go? I want to go right about, let's bring this side over. I want to go close to the point over here. So actually we're going to have a little bit of a jut in this field, I think, which is fine. Yeah, a lot of it designs itself as we're going, but as I'm doing it, I see certain areas, for instance, that I say, I know exactly what I want to do there. For And I can do a for instance on that in a little bit. There are areas here. Take a quick break, see if I can find one. As I look around, especially well, all these mountains need to be painted up and reshaped and all that stuff. But there's a couple areas over by this farm over here that are small areas. I got to rework the roads through here, but we're going to start as a for instance. I'm going to bring in a round brush on this area over here, and we're going to knock these down so we can maybe a little bit bigger brush. We're going to, whoops, wrong, and then add, and we're going to pull up some ridges and stuff through here and add some more detail to different parts of the map in some areas like over here. So, I mean, it's not a traveled area, but it kind of separate the road above and the road below and just give us some more diverse terrain throughout the map and make it so it's not all grassy looking. We'll have a I like doing side. You know me. I can never jump. I always jump around everywhere I go. So we're going to go from 30 to 90 with my mountain rock and bring in some of that around here. So it blends in. The whole map is going to have this like rocky, dirty, grassy look as we go around. So yeah, little areas that I see like that. This is just a very small one. But as I see little areas like this, we'll bring in some of the detail and I can knock this down to 0 to 30 and I'm going to take my brush and just bring the edges in back to the, we'll let a little grass seep through. Well, we're going to have a lot of details. This is just a small example, and I do have to fix that road edge down there of the fine details that are going to come later, but it'll blend it in with the road edge a little bit. So we'll have little areas like that that we will just keep adding in. And I'll have to go back and touch some more rock in there as well. But we're going to have a very interesting. Oh yeah, they're going to be that's more storage sheds and stuff as we get further away from the farm areas. That's why we're leaving some space around some of these fields and there can be sheds back here. Actually, that whole mountain's going to fill in a little bit. That plan has changed. But we're going to have room for storage facilities around. Right now, that's down the road a little bit. Right now, we're going to draw in some more fields. Let me go a little smaller. Get my edges clean. We're going to have to jut this field down to the south because it's going to crash into the mountain. I'm going to do it right about here. So this will be kind of an L-shaped because I want to have quite a bit of space along the mountainside for messing with later. So we'll bring this down, but I also don't want it, having to run into the mountainside. We can bring mud and different, all sorts of cool stuff. I'm going to go down this way and start heading back across over here. So there you go, my first irregularly shaped field. It's not exactly square, but it's gonna be big. Because I want it to go all the way out to close to where that point breaks off. One thing you hate, yeah, big fields. One thing you hate is some modded farms, they put trees too close to the field and your combines get stuck. Yep, I know it. We try, I mean, I have some occasionally, but any of the trees that I do put around the farm are going to be the ones that you can cut down if they annoy you. But I try to keep them far away enough. Yeah, I think there was only one or two. But actually, the ones that were around the farms, for the most part, were the ones that uh, were in the old Goldcrest area that I didn't remove from Pleasant Valley V3. I like the trees to add some detail to the map, but I am with you on not wanting to bump into things. So you can see we got a lot of room between the mountain, and we'll bring roads through and outbuildings back there and that type of thing along the outside. Some extra vehicle storage around the farms. Uh, Water towers have to come in certain areas, so you're not running all over the place for water. Probably try to do something with Culligan on the fabric script. I think we once had it running on the fabric script. And bring that back in so it's pumping water throughout the map. That was a pretty cool thing. And yeah, it's amazing how long it takes just to draw the fields in. But we'll do a few more fields on this farm and see. Actually, I don't have to line it up on that side. That's going to be scribbled in. Just this side here. How we doing? Long way to go. But with big fields, you have big equipment, so you need a lot of room to turn around on the ends. How many lumber mills are we putting in the map? Interesting thing is, I'm not sure yet. We're going to rework the lumber areas. There's going to be two main forestry areas to work from, and each will have forestry products, and they might even have different ones, but they'll both be creating lumber and pallets and the basic stuff. One in the northwest corner, one in the southeast. So, and they're going to have several. It's going to be a pretty good size operation there. There's only going to be one Cogent though, and that's going to have fewer of the regular mills than. Oh, I went a little too far. Than the other side. But I'm guessing there's probably going to be 6 to 8 of the sawmills making board pallets when we're done. Just a early guess. What? Oh, good. Newest Windows feature. Let's pick a time. It's popped up on my other thing. I should be sleeping by. Oh, wait. Let's pick a day. Tomorrow. We don't want to restart right now, that's for sure. We're in the middle of something here. There. Whoops, I just said it. Windows wants to do an update to my computer in the middle of my show. You can't do that. So now we get to fill in the big square with a bigger square. Now, technically, if I was really, I could go like this, put a 200 in there, but yeah, talk about fast field making. This is a big one. But it's kind of hard to stay in the lines when you're way out here. Look at that. Now that was fast. I sometimes make things a lot more difficult for myself than they have to be. Like that if I did it the other way that I've been doing it, that would have taken a lot longer. So that is one pretty good size field right there. We actually can still extend it right over to the road. I forgot the road's over here. So we're going to make it a little bigger just because you guys like big fields. And what else am I going to do near the road? We'll leave a little room. There's a little ridge I'm going to have to take down over here. We can go a little further. Yeah, that's much better. Because who knows what's going to go along the sides of those roads. I need more green grass. Anything with mining? Uh, yes, we are doing quite a bit with the mining. Very much with PV. Oh, wrong brush. Much of it is going to be just like the sand and the gravel that are on the PV3 map, scooping it up. You're going to be doing a lot of that. As a matter of fact, because I can't sit here, I don't know about you guys, but I just can't draw fields for the whole time we're doing a broadcast. So we'll put this one in, and I'm going to try to bring in a couple things. We'll see what we can do for exporting. I'm trying to think of the map. Oh boy, this is where the cursor size is a little bit tricky. I gotta be zoomed out so far to get. I could just make it smaller, make my job easier. But what fun would that be? There we go. Yeah, we gotta do the whole mining area. We got some more work to do up there. So that right there, my friends, is one pretty huge field, and we're gonna be doing probably three really long ones below that. Uh, that will be coming right through here. The wash plant in gold. Actually, I don't know who it was, but somebody said that they had one redesigned, and I would love to bring the gold back like we used to have. And somebody has one, and you're probably out there watching right now. As far as gold, somebody did a fabric script model of the gold already. There's a little piece of field there. You can see that in the distance. So yeah, I definitely would love to bring back the gold. We already have gold in the map, so making a wash plant to help gather. I mean, we get paid gold for building factories now, so yep, if somebody knows where you said there's one in the mining econ map. Now, I don't want a the mining map I think has it off of the UPK kit, which isn't working for me reliably on multiplayer, so I don't know what they have, but I know somebody said they had a fabric script one made in the forums. Maybe it's was a brief look at it that I saw, and I'll see if I can find it. They might have even private messaged me at some point. Life has been busy, so I really do apologize to everyone for not responding to many. If you have questions about the map and you're trying to get answers through Facebook or through the forums by direct messaging me, you're probably not going to get a response because I get so many of them, and I have been so busy lately that if I have time, I'm working on these maps rather than responding to everybody's individual questions. So I recommend you put your posts in the forums where the community can help answer it, and you'll get a much faster response than waiting for me. I do answer some of them, and a lot of them, by the time I get to them, I realize it's been 3 weeks since you asked the question, and if you haven't figured it out by then there's no help for you. So, same way with the remarks on the YouTube videos. I do read some of them as they're posted, but I'm usually out on the road doing something when somebody posts something. I appreciate all the comments, and I do look at suggestions if you put them up there, but to get responses out of me is kind of tough. I recommend you come here. Ask all the questions you want while I'm doing this. That's why I broadcast. So anybody that's watching it later on YouTube, uh, I do read them and I do sometimes address them if it's something that we haven't already covered during our next show. But many of the things that are asked also are asked 100 times. For instance, on the PV3 map, it's how do I get the stones is such a common question, and I think the big rocks that how do we get the rocks to produce? It's such a common question, and I think we've actually covered it on like 5 different episodes while we were making that map, and even after release, we did a Q&A. Look at the Q&As. If all of the Q&As that I've done answer those questions because they're so common. So PV3 Q&A. You have any questions that are common and I haven't answered them for you? Look at those Q&As. They pretty much cover everything. Fact is that, and you can ask S7 if he's out there, creating a PDF file for a map, these maps, is a daunting task. And by the time I get the map done, I'm not going to make you guys sit through another month. I just, we have a lot of people out there willing to help you if you ask questions on the forums. We even put up on the forums, I don't know if it's being used, I started filling in a little bit of it, a wiki that can be publicly edited if anybody wants to spend time in the wiki making some wiki entries. I don't know if anybody else has done anything in there, but trying to provide the platforms enough so that I can continue making you guys maps and not spend time answering a million questions over and over and over. So this is going to be a pretty big grassy area over here to bring a few more fields down. And then we'll go around the borders down here and put some roads with some out like sheds and stuff like that. So it's all rough work right now. Obviously, if I have bridges in the middle of fields, but it's gonna look cool when we see more green on the map. That's my goal. The more green I get, the better. And this is just one small segment, and we've got sell points. I'm doing good, JD. JD Mods. Doing very well. It's been a good day, as you see from my donation bar. We're ready to go to the Dominican Republic. My passport came in the mail already. It only took a week and a half, so it's a good time. I was kind of worried about that being so close to the trip date, a month away, when they say 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, everything's just fallen into place, so it's been really good. And uh, for technically the money's all there. We'll make up the difference. Obviously, one thing I didn't consider was all those wonderful uh, fees that PayPal likes to take out of donations. So it's a little bit shorter, but we'll be okay. That's for sure. I did get some other donations that aren't in the bar from family members, small ones and stuff like that too. So we'll we'll make it. Plus, I have uh, so I come back, so you guys can ensure that I make it back here alive. I get to go and get my typhoid medication and my malaria medications, and oh yeah, all that stuff comes with that too. When you're going overseas to a place like that, got to make sure you have the proper meds, and that's like another $150 for the medications that I need to take before I go down there, so that I don't contract some crazy disease that make me real ill. uh, Dirty. Yeah, but we're doing good. Well, you know, it's going to be a cultural experience. Enjoy, I'm sure we'll enjoy part of it. We're going there to work. We're going there to help out. Uh, Build a school, a roof over a school. Um, but if you've been following along and you know anything about me, I've made some major life changes in the past year, and my goodness, what a ride it has been. I basically, without getting too crazy here, I started doing this map stuff literally as an escape from reality. I know there's a lot of people out there that are pretty much in the same boat I was. And when you have, uh, I have spinal disease that I pretty much, when I moved here into my sister's house, I pretty much gave up trying to make things work, you know? It was tough. I literally went through with ankylosing spondylitis, a fusion of my spine, which when it was fusing was a very painful process. And I know you guys with back issues know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, so I had that as well as my divorce. My wife left me, and my I lost my job and couldn't find work because who I just am trained to you do physical labor my whole life. Uh, and with a back injury or back disease like I have, it has been pretty rough. So I pretty much moved out here. I lost in 6 months' time, I went from having everything that I thought I could ever want to having literally uh, nothing. to Lost my house, my two cars. When I moved out here, my truck broke down, and I didn't have a way to get transportation back and forth to see my kids. So I'm just, it was rough. I drowned myself in making maps and doing stuff down here. But, uh, you know, I said a prayer. My prayer was answered. If you were here on my Christmas broadcast a year ago, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to preach religion to everybody because that is up to you, but uh, that's not what this show is about. But I've made some significant changes, and it's just been amazing. Amazing year for me. I never thought I'd ever be where I am. Through a process of having hope again, uh, I started just doing little things, eating better, working out, strengthening the muscles in my back, um, working, donating a lot of my time. So when I say I'm not here, I'm usually out. I'll be uh, working with the local community center, and I work with the youth group, like I said, through the church on Wednesday nights. I attend meetings some Monday nights. I coordinate men's group events, all the stuff I don't ever talk about. And I've been just blessed, to say the least, with health. Uh, Everything. It's changed completely. Here I was a year ago. I didn't think I'd even be able, I thought I'd be in a wheelchair by now. And now I am going to the Dominican Republic to help put a roof on a school. And when I get back from that trip, we'll be looking for some employment to get back into the workforce after being out for about 5 years. So it's just been an incredible year for me. And I've learned that as I do for others, my life has just been a big change. It's been a great, and you guys are a big part of it. I'm not going to leave here because, yeah, you guys have a lot to do with that. And the skills I learned on map making come from that time. And I enjoy doing it. The time is, I'm busy. That and with just being out, getting out of the house. I mean, I haven't never thought I'd be able to do some of the things that I can do. I'm probably in the best physical shape I've been in the last 30 years, to be honest with you. I've had to give up a lot of things because of the back disease, but now where I'm at, I can. do a lot of those things that I never thought I'd be able to do again. And they're simple things sometimes, like I'm 51 years old and I was playing flag football with the kids and volleyball. I can't look up, but I'm getting really good at figuring out where the ball's going to be as it's coming down because my neck's fused too. But yeah, just things, getting out there hunting again, got my hunting license. Haven't done that in 25 years. I, a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks, but a year ago, I couldn't have walked much more than maybe a quarter mile without having pains and stuff. My walks that well, I haven't done it in a little while because the weather is just a little bit miserable out there. But I started taking, oh, I hit that spin button. My walks tend to be up to 6 miles a couple times a week, and I do shorter ones, so it's been good. And a lot of it's just a lot of the physical activity too. I've just been helping people uh, where needed. One of the things that one of the kids actually taught me from the group was that he's really physically fit, and it's like, why would I work out when I could do something that will benefit somebody and get the same amount of exercise? Like, for instance, you want to work on your abs, go out there and chop a pile of wood for somebody. Swing that axe. You'll get some workout right there. Just so yeah, you want to get some squats in, pick up a paint roller when somebody needs it in their house, and that was you know, you'll be going up and down them walls so many times you'll get a lot of exercise. Some pretty cool things that you can accomplish and work out. Yeah, absolutely, Eagle. Uh, the thing is, if you knew anything about me, you might call me crazy. But I said a prayer, like I said, and I was so far from being a follower of any sort of religion that I told him if he's real, he's going to have to do something to convince me beyond a reasonable doubt. And you know what the amazing thing is my transformation has, if you were here in my life with who I and knew me before and how sudden the change was, it has impact. So when I do things like these mission trips, everybody that's around me and that's watched me not has their people are changing for the better. They see my physical abilities when before they it's just amazing. So no, whoever you are out there, if you're going through tough times, ask the Lord for help. That's all I can say. And if you don't believe in him, tell him to prove himself like I did. And man, amazing things. It's and I can't even get into it. I might write a book someday, but so many things happen on a regular basis uh, that it's absolutely incredible. So that's just me. I look around and I say, you might not believe, but you know what? Neither did I. And it took me 51 years to get my head on straight. You don't have to wait. That's all. All right, done preaching for today. Uh, yeah. Not saying that life is always rosy, but it gives you a new perspective where I found a new inner peace. and I'm accomplishing things I never thought I would. So that's just me. Even as you could ask the guys in my group, we don't even discuss religion around. I've changed a little bit, but I am who I am. Uh, and yeah, I'm still me, and we still mess around and joke around, and I just try to clean up my act a little bit, which is a lot of cleaning up to do. But I guess the biggest change I've done is just getting out, moving around when I can, even uh, at all, whenever possible. I try to volunteer to help do whatever. And you guys have done a lot of that help too. You brought in money for, like I said, we bought a girl with twin 1 year olds that had been living on the streets. The donations through here went and got her a bed. So she didn't have to sleep on the floor or on the couch with her two young children. And I'm still in contact with her and helping where myself and the church is helping get her things as she needs them while she's getting back on her feet. And it's just been an amazing thing, making changes in people's lives. It's a good feeling, and that's what the Dominican trip is really going to be about. It's going to be tough, but I know we'll be able to make a difference down there. Yeah, exactly. There's a God shaped hole in everybody's heart. And I can tell you from my experience, the more you listen, the more He uh, opens up doors. Just amazing. I can't even tell you. To me, I call them my many, many miracles, as I was telling people. Just when I explained it to my family, I am a skeptic beyond my whole life. Very skeptical of everything. So, uh, I would have taken a lot of convincing. What happened to me was an instant change overnight because, yeah, he proved me wrong. He proved himself real to me, and I know it's hard to explain to everybody else, but it's quite the amazing. As I said to them, a lot of people will have something happen that they can dismiss as a coincidence. But when you start having things that would be completely coincidental happen, oh, what did I just do? Happen 10, 20, who knows how many times at this point in a row, one after another. What did I have my brush? Coincidentally, I'm on terrain detail. Oh, we hit the wrong thing. There we go. We got to make another corner over here. So we're gonna bring. I did it again. Sometimes my mouse button clicks and I get into that spin mode, I guess, framed rotate mode there, and it really messes with me. I'm trying to bring a corner in over here so I know where I'm gonna be for the start of the next field. All right. Did I do that right? I guess sort of. Yes, I gotta make this a little smaller, be easier to work with. Gonna cut off this part. And, well, I guess I should have left a little bit. We'll eyeball this up a little. That looks pretty good. As we do these, it is a relatively flat area, but I've got a technique as well for drawing in a little bit more hilly areas and stuff that will just sweep through with some minor rolls through these fields so it's not all flat. Yeah, I'm glad I'm in a better place. It's been an amazing change. And people see that change, and that's what motivates me to keep, you know, they see that change and it changes other people, and it's pretty awesome. And I'm doing things I never thought I'd do. So, therefore, yes, my map time is a little bit more limited, uh, but we'll squeeze it in here. We're gonna be around. We'll get this map drawn going and keep on going. And we're not gonna stop because I like to do it. But when my meetings call, if I gotta go to like work with the youth group tomorrow night, that's where I'm gonna be. My big thing, if I told my whole story on that Christmas, and you really, a lot of stuff comes back from my childhood. You know, if somebody paid a little more attention, I wouldn't have done all the trouble and all the things that I've had to endure, and it's just been a rough life for me back then. Suicide attempts, yes, I've had a couple of those when I was younger. And all I really needed was somebody that knew what was going on to pay attention. And that's what I try to do for these kids. I just am around. I help out with the activities. I'm and I'm there if they need them. And when I talk to you guys about uh, some of the friends that I have that I've been out hunting with and cutting, I mean, a lot of times they're just teens, teens that I've been got to know through the youth groups that were. I mean, the kid that I was helping today that got the deer last night was is 17 years old, and I went and helped him cut it up. He's the one that taught me how to do it. I've never done anything like that before, but I know their parents and everything well too. But I spend as much time so they know that there's people around that are listening to them, you know, so they don't have to endure some of the tough things that kids go through at those teen years like I did. That's really what it's all about to me. So what do you think? We're doing pretty good with our fields. This one's going all the way down, and then we'll take a look inside the map and see what we got eventually, but I'm just rolling right along. My tongue is rolling and my paintbrush is rolling. Thank you for the follow, Sasquatch. Yeah, this is going to be a nice field. For those of you who love big fields, you got 'em coming in. I don't even know what time it is. I just rolling right along. Ah, we got another hour plus to go, so we're doing good. This one's gonna be squared off with the far end of the other one. So technically, as you look at these 3 fields right here, you can start combining and making some massive ones, plow them around a little bit, reconfigure them yourself, decide which ones you want to plow together. I'm going to bring this line down like I usually do so I know where we're going to turn this thing. And then delete this back out. Whoops. Here, went a little too far. Let's do that piece over. All right, we're getting there. Let me bring this over. You know, no matter how often I do these, I always get in there and somehow find a jagged edge on a field that annoys me. I think I'm doing pretty good today, though, with the straight edges. And some of these actually have to be repainted with fertilizer once I figure out which fields are going to be starter fields when they're marked. They'll have to be drawn over the top of them a little bit with another layer so it has fertilization and all that stuff. Oh yeah, we gotta keep going. I think on Saturday I'm actually gonna get to go hunting myself. I'm looking forward to it. I've been practicing shooting all summer long. With my spinal disease, I was kind of concerned in the beginning how the even just a kick on a shotgun would be with my fused neck and everything, but yeah, it's actually doesn't bother me at all. And I've shot just about everything out of that shotgun this year practicing. Slugs, you name it. So that's something I didn't know how it was going to be. And there, now we can bring in monster brush. Let's go with a 200 again. That worked well last time. And right there. And right there. So, what do we got so far over here? We've got, it's taking shape. There's grass down here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 8 fields. Now, if we did 15 fields on each farm, that would leave us with 60. So we definitely can, and that'd be huge. And that'd be less fields than on Pleasant Valley V3, but definitely more farming area. I'm gonna save this and load it back in just so I can see if we missed any spots, and also because it's good to save when you do this much work. Let's see. I am going to, when it's loading, just step away for a couple minutes and I'll come back once I start loading it up. I'm going to use the facilities upstairs and then come back down. So if you need to get a cup of coffee or something from the fridge or relieve yourself like me, now would be the time. You're not going to miss much. I'm going to exit it out and bring it back up, and then we'll come back and continue on. So, yeah, we can keep on going. All right, so we're saved. Close it, and we'll reopen the map. And right now, I will be back in just a couple short minutes. Hang in there. There's still another hour and a half ish to go. Be back shortly. All right, I hope you guys all got your coffees ready. Look at that. We have grass actually showing now. I have to run the script though. The 16x so we don't get the blank areas off in the distance. And our road's going to come down through here, and I am definitely going to leave a pretty large gap because we're going to run some details through around here too. But what I was telling you before, we have this huge landscape mass and it's all relatively flat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with we'll go with the 50 radius round circle, and I'm just going to knock these down to like point 0.2 something each of them. And we're going to go, actually, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. 150. A lot higher. Yeah, that's about where I want to be. And I'm gonna just come through here and you'll see I'm kind of just raising the terrain a little bit and a very smooth edge. So when we come through these fields, it's not going to be completely flat, and we're just going to randomly raise up some area, and it's kind of like a little ridge that the farm is running. And we'll do a little bit through here too. You can see it pulling up a little bit. When we get into the map, we'll show you how slight, it's kind of even hard to see in here, how slight these rolls are going to be in the field, but it'll break it up from being just one big flat area a little bit. So we add a little bit of detail to the fields, and you can raise them up pretty big. If you have a big circle, you get a very gradual and a slow rotation, slow hardness values and all those small ones. It'll give it a nice gradual roll through there. And back to square brush. I definitely want to put a road through here. So let's see. But I want to have a lot of space down here. So we're going to connect up to this road and kind of just bring a... I'm going to... You know what? Even better yet. Let's see. Let's bring a street through here. I'm trying to decide which piece I want to remove. I think we'll put it right toward this end of this road, and I'm going to run it straight that way a little ways, and we'll have some stuff on the road, or yeah, I'm going to do a regular straight road through here for now. I just need my intersection that I have. I know we have them down here. And wait till you see what we're gonna do to bring in some details. We're gonna put this in over here. Let's see. Once it lets me move it, we gotta rotate it to 180, other direction. And raise it up just a little. Drag that into place. And got to make sure that we're butted up against the road nicely. It needs to go 1.3 by 1.35. Is that about right? Nope, that's too much. I think it's 1.3. Just has to be raised up a little further. It's sitting a little bit lower. Yeah, there we go. Right about there. That looks good. Now, this piece here has this little thing here. We're getting rid of that. A lot of these roads need some minor adjustments for sure. We'll duplicate this piece out. And see if we're too long or too short. We're definitely too long. See how our seam. That'll work. It looks pretty good. And we'll grab this one. Bring a road through here. And onward it shall go. Um, yeah, we've got lots more to bring in. We might have, there's going to be some uh horses like we had and stuff, just details around throughout these farming areas, that wandering sheep and those things as well. So we'll have spaces for those as we leave some space around these farms so they're not all just big flat fields. We're going to bring some mountain range, well, hills into these areas as well. And it's not going to be I just clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. I'm going to go a couple more sections here. We're going to get some more mountain range. Now, with the 16x map, as we raise up the terrain, we're adding more triangles to the landscape, which can be more taxing. So it's going to be a lot of flat area on the map. Don't get me wrong, but we're going to put some details into it. So it's looks a little bit. Go there. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to run a couple roads south, but I want to have a lot of room around them, so we'll do one more of these. Now I imagine if I measured those, I'd be able to just butt them right up against each other with the coordinates, but I never do it that way. Because, like I said earlier, I like making... Oh, I don't like that, though. See how I got the gap right there? Oh, we made a goof. Gotta get rid of that. And unfortunately, sometimes that means I have to shift every piece. Yeah, there's a tiny bit left. But you get that weird flashing if you overlap them too much with the struggle of trying to render between the two pieces because they're on the same level. I wanted to click off of it so I could see if there's... That looks good. Okay, we'll be good there. And get that down here. Whoops. Okay. Where does it end? Right there. So I'll be able to head down there. I'm gonna bring in, this subject to change later. I just want to make it a little bit not so flat through here. So we're gonna raise up some of this. We got the road coming down through like a valley area, but it's just, this is gonna actually be some trees and stuff and just have some hills coming through a little bit. Small hills. And we'll have a break in it up here too. So I'm basically just rough sketching some more terrain details into here. We'll stop it right about there because we'll have a road that comes through down here. And you can make it as high as you want. I left a little bit of space so I can put a building over on this side, tucked into the corner. I think we're a little bit too close to the field on this side, possibly. Let me cut back a little bit. Whoops, wrong brush. We don't want to interfere with our turning around of our equipment, but we're going to make a... Yeah, give us a little room here. And wait till we get onto my smaller brush. And it's not cliff-like, it's just going to be a mound coming through this area. So no real sharp edges, but I do like the randomness of hills, so I just roughly drop them in. I'm going to go bigger because now I'm just going to smooth these ridges down in. And first things first, let's get some grass right out to the road. Oops, wrong brush. Try that one. So I'm going to do pretty much like we did over on the other side with this whole area. We're going to bring the rock face in and hit it so that we have a little bit of rock showing on the steeper slopes, and then some grass through here as well. It just kind of makes it so the whole map isn't one big flat section. And it gives you guys something to drive over and try to make jumps. Let me get some more road down so we can square it off a little bit. Then we can work on the other side another day. All hail Stevie. Hey, Stevie. I wonder how many road segment pieces we're going to have in this thing when it's done. Probably 1,000. No, I don't know. There's going to be quite a few. Hopefully it'll still run. On FS13, we tried to do something similar like this, a 16x map with the road segments, and I had never finished that because it lagged out too bad with the. Basically, you would have had to paint all the roads on that. So I did attempt to start one at one point. Just never finished a 16x before, but we're going to finish this one up. There's no doubt about it in my mind. This is going to be my first full 16x map, and it's going to be awesome. All right, round brush. Well, not radius. We'll keep that relatively small, but I want to go back up. I want to get some mountain rock, and I want to go to 45 degrees slant up to straight 90. Actually, we can get a little bit bigger brush. And we're just going to paint wherever there's steep slopes. Might even go 30 because I'd like to see a little bit more. See, it's not hitting anything in a lot of areas. If we drop it to a 30-degree angle, we'll get more rock through here. We've done a lot of this on PV3, but the difference here is I'm kind of mixing in some of that dirt texture after we go over it with the rock as well to get it to fit in with the rest of the surrounding landscape. So we're going to kind of blend some dirt, grass, and rock if we can. Yeah. All through. Out this area. Thank you, Judge Mentroy, for the follow there. Whoa, did I just... I look over and my mouse goes with me. So, pretty rough drawing in right now. And these will get touched up as we go if it looks like it needs it. But right now it's just gonna come out, and I'm gonna try to take this add brush operation, put that back to 0. We're gonna go add, but we're gonna lower these down to just a couple points and bring in the rough dirt, and I'm just gonna quickly spotty dirt through here, and then just to give it a little bit of a look, but we're transitioning to the grass, and I just do as I feel looks good. So it's gonna have a little bit of dirt around the edge of the mountains or this ridge. We'll see how it looks when we get into. And Zorg 2006, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. So we're going to add a little bit of dirt around here. And the trick is, when we're done, to take what we've put in here, and even though these dirt areas are small in some places, if we go back to our smooth brush, we're going to just start blending these layers together so they're, sometimes the dirt disappears a little bit, sometimes, and it also depends too, like if I switch to, for instance, the mountain rock and smooth it, more mountain rock, oh, now it's blending the dirt out. Yeah, so different layers that you smooth in will do different things. Let's go back to the rough dirt. And am I still on smooth? Yeah. Just gonna smooth these textures down in so they blend up a little bit. And yeah, you can see some of it's definitely changing as it smooths between the different layers. And if I find when I get in the map that I want more dirt area, we'll bring in some more. Yeah. That looks pretty cool. We'll check it out when we get there. Here, let's blend the grass in with the rock down here a little bit on the edges. There we go. All right, what do we got? About a half hour. I think I want to jump in and, well, we got a little more than a half hour. Uh, we'll stretch this road. We'll do a little bit more road work. Then we'll jump into the editor and see what we can do. I'm going to put a T over here, but I do not know if it's going to be a solid road like this or if I'm just going to transition it into a dirt road that goes up through those fields. But we can at least, we might take, I have to think about this here. As we go down, maybe I will ask your opinion. Should I do a, let's see what's up there. I can run, let's get it back on straight here. Lined up. Oh, well, I guess I don't have to line that up yet because I'm gonna, yeah, right about there. All right, so line it up. So I can run, I think I'm gonna run a dirt road up here instead of the T. Just a dirt path going all the way up through these fields. Yeah, we'll do that. So, bum 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 bum. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the T in, but I'm gonna do dirt off one side and have another access point going south from up here. So that should work out pretty good. Especially seeing as I already rolled the landscape up there, it'll be much easier to put a dirt road through. Or I'd have to flatten where these crazy roads go all the time. So that's good. We're going to bring this right about here. Get the grass in. And fill this in a little bit. We got a small gap to fill there. Not too bad. And we're going to continue some more mountain range on the other side eventually. But for now, I can go back to, I like to start with a 5 and then I basically, as I draw this in, we'll make it a little bit wider, like 1 square or so wider than we draw. And why is it not drawing? Oh, because I didn't switch off of grass, you idiot. There we go. There, that's actually a pretty wide road right there. It's one, see how we do here. Looking good. A little more room on one side than the other really doesn't matter too much. It's just a tiny, tiny bit. And then off of here, we got to do those little access points for the fields, like we did where you staged the equipment for and cell marker. But that will come when we start marking the fields. And we'll have some side roads too off of these meeting up with the others. So literally, as we're working this corner, if you think about it, we've already definitely done more than a single size. And each, if you break this into 4 sections, this whole map, this is going to be about a 4x section down here, and we're about halfway done with fields and stuff on this section alone. So it's getting there. So I'm going to leave that off there for now. We'll probably put some barns back here. I got to refill in this whole mountain at some point, but that meets up down there, and then the question is where there is a piece of this road that's a 50-meter piece if I could find it. These are the hundreds. I don't know. There's a 50. Bring one of those up to fill this gap in. This part is like a Bob Ross segment. Yeah, it can be that way. We're going to have a lot of Bob Ross segments over the next couple months or however long we're doing this, because it can be tedious doing all this little repetitive stuff. That road is definitely got to come up, and it's too wide wherever it came from is a little bit wider, and 1.3. Oh, it's so close, but it's just a little bit off. Let's get the height right first. Right. Now, technically, for those of you who are, I could if I was smart, but I'm not always smart. Like I said, I like to make things difficult for myself. If I click on the piece next to it and grab the translate Y and then come over here, 100.19, actually, it's there already, and paste that in there like I was going to say, they'll be at the exact same height. So we don't have to mess with the height. We just got to put it in place. And now it can go back to the 1.3. That's what it was. Yeah. So they line up perfectly. But it's too long. And that's why I use the smaller segment, so as we shrink it down, it doesn't lose too much of its. Let's go there. Sometimes seams just, they line up, but they don't always look, see, different pieces look a little blurrier than others. But I do know this. If I go, whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. What did I guess it's, well, we'll leave it there. I was trying to use the same coordinates as we did on the other one, but that'll work. All right. So yeah, we're just going to continue this down. I wonder what we're going to meet up with down here. We'll probably break it off. But yeah, there's so much space on this. There's a road right over here. We'll figure that out when we get there. Right now, I'm going to save this thing, load it, save it again, jump in the map, and take a look around for the rest of the show, see what we've been working on, and how things are looking, and how much has filled in. Will the farm areas be bigger other than the fields? The farm areas are definitely a lot bigger. Sorry there, Delta Echo. I didn't see that until just now. Yeah, I got the money for the trip, JS Rock, thanks to Around to It. Uh, Amazing guy. He filled it in. So we are set there, and you guys are going to be stuck with me up till December, through most of December, making this map because I don't have to go out and sell cookies. So we're going to just keep plugging away. At least 3 days a week, we'll get. I'm shooting for 3 days a week, 5 shows. We'll work them in where we can, and I, if we can get more, we can get more. But we're going to put a lot of hours into this map over the next month. And, well, it's about a month now, right? Yeah, about a month left before we go. And we'll see how far we get. A little bit less than a month. Oh my gosh, time flies. It's November 28th, and I'm leaving on December 26th. So, whoa. Yeah, just for a week, 9 days, I think it is. So then we'll come back. We'll have pictures, hopefully, to show you, and tell you how the whole trip went, and continue on where we left off. And get this 16X wrapped up. But we'll see how far we can get before then. Now I load it up and then save it again so when we're in, the tag distance textures look. If you guys are joining us for the first time in episode 7, I think I've mentioned that in episodes 1 through 6. So research, I got to do some research. Look for some new crops to bring in. Um, there's a good possibility we'll have some grapes. I gotta check out that grape harvester and see if we can get that running and working. Think it's running, but it'll be awesome. I wonder if we can do anything else with. Oh wait, we can't mod the sugarcane harvester because it's locked up in a file. But boy, wouldn't that have been nice? We could probably do some other types of, like, remember an energy weed that was in they had it for FS13. Somebody made a mod called energy weed, and it was another biofuel type thing that was similar to a cane type thing. That would be, but it was taller. That would be kind of cool. Um, I think the map is there, but I'm just seeing nothing because my script needed to be run. Yay! There it is. So let's save that up and jump into the game. Drive around. Visit our farm. One of these days we're going to have to get into the technical part of adding those new crop types and stuff. But thoughts for another day. And I got to work on the sheep farm, and I got to do all the navigation matches, and I got to work, work. Just another few million months. No. I like this part though because as we paint larger areas, you're starting to look like we're more done than we were last time you were here. We've got a much larger section in this corner that actually has some ground terrain there. Still need to put all the grass on that, but I'm still not even sure. Uh, I think we might get a different grass texture. I can delete that one. Might get a different grass texture if I can find something I like. And like I said before, I'd like something. Maybe I have to check, see what the Westbridge Hills. Maybe I'll do that right when we're done. Back up these textures and bring in the Westbridge Hills grass and see how it changes things. It's just replacing a couple texture files, and poof, it'll all look different. And if we don't like it, we put it back. As simple as that. All right. Go over and get myself a vehicle. Actually, we're on the farm, but I don't want to walk around. I like to drive around. Then I can zoom out. So we'll grab a truck, cause we always do. We're going with gray. I like to bring in different colors every time. So yeah, just the past couple days, we've placed the factories roughly around where they're going to be. Worked on the big mountain over there, and we're slowly filling in areas. There's still a lot of floating objects that'll be moved around or coming out, but it's getting there. This is the main area that we worked in down here today. Down to the east side center of the map. And we'll be there pretty soon. So we brought this road down yesterday too. Another road going straight down through. Oh no, wait, that's the highway. Yep, we've got some highway going up the hill. We will do some more terrain changes with roads going through them. Out here, as we get further away from the farm, uh, I'm just kind of gauging how many fields and what we're going to have around each farm and how much. I mean, there's going to be some serious farming around here because there's some big fields and big floating things, that a lot of stuff that still has to come out of the map. So this is where we worked on from here. So this is the field we created. I ask you guys, is this going to be big enough for you? Because I think it should be a pretty good size for you guys. This field right here that we're going down. I'm hoping that this field will keep you guys busy because look at it's a monster. Like I said, you start close to the farms, and as you work out, you're going to get to the bigger fields. So that one there uh, is a field, and you'll notice the rolls that we put in. You could tell we're going uphill. This is a little bumpy. We might have to smooth out a little bit, uh, but it's not flat anymore. We've got that gradual roll to it, so it's not a completely flat. You can't see across the other side of that little hill. So it's not completely flat, but yeah, I think we've got you some big fields right there. That field has horse aggravation beat. Yep, and then a road that went through, and up when I'm drawing from such a distance, I do tend to find these little grass areas that I got to make sure I hit, or your combines just get there and turn around in the middle. So some pretty big areas in the farm area, and we've got room for some roads, and we got room for some trees around the farms and fences. Or yeah, we'll get into all the decorative stuff around the farms. That's why I leave a lot of room around here because we can raise up some landscape, sort of like we did down here, and make it like nestled back in. But we definitely have got a good size fields here. And then we cross the road. There's a smaller one next to it. And we have the really long one that stretches all the way down. So I don't know, man. Do you really want more fields than this on the farm? Because we've got so many things we can do. How much space on each farm do you guys want for? I mean, that's a lot of farming right there. Holy moly. Uh, and then we're gonna plant some trees, and you got definitely now enough room to turn your combines around at the end. And the grass will fill in areas around here. It'll look a lot better, but blending into our hill. It didn't look so big until we got in the map, though. This hill section that I was building in here did it. We'll get some different tree types. I'm gonna look for some different tree types as well. We're gonna use a lot more of the decorative trees around here and stick to the pines up in the forestry area. So yeah, we'll cut back the grass, lead this grass up a little bit closer. A little too much rock through here. Maybe, well, we might mix the sand right up. But a highway coming through, and I think we'll make it a little wider and do some more mountainous stuff on this side of the road before we cut into a couple more fields down there. So we have our intersection. Look at all that area still down there. Yeah, I'd say there's a lot to go. I didn't even do anything up alongside of this road, but I think I want to do some of the barns and stuff along this side. Uh, Lots for different things, or maybe sheep wandering or down up and down the side. I don't know. We will cross that bridge when we come to it, but I got to start looking at some additional stuff that's going to be coming in too. Uh, Animal types and stuff before we fill in all the areas around the farm. Uh, Maybe even, yeah, I want to have a lot more content, different products and stuff. Not that there's not enough already, but look at the distance to the farm back there. So those of you who are asking, the main farm area on each of the farms definitely has a bigger cow pen. Somebody wanted a bigger cow barn, but I pretty much think that it's all for show. Uh, we're gonna stick with this for now, unless we do one of those milking areas or something down the road. But you've got a few barns here, a lot more space right on the main farm area. I might put some little fence areas around. I know how much they annoy people, but I left purposely very wide roads, so if I decided to drop a fence along the side, you can easily get around it. You know, I want to decorate maybe some haystacks and stuff built in. Just there's going to be a lot more decoration around the farms later on. So we need to have space, maybe junk cars or stuff. We want to make it look cool. So that one is filling in pretty good. You can see forever, and all you see is fields. Did we go anywhere else on the map today? I think we. So yeah, and you have the greenhouses over here that have to be resituated, but they're getting there. And our bridges, we got traffic already on these roads too, which is kind of cool. You're not going to have traffic on all the roads unless you want to wait, well, till like next November because, man, the splines on all the new roads I'm putting in, that would take some time. Although they're relatively flat and straight, so it wouldn't be as bad as Pleasant Valley V3 was. You'll be able to, there's going to be pretty cool. There's definitely going to be some more mountains in, like the mountain on the other side. I just, because I kind of like where we went through that last area coming through here. I want to have that feel around most of the map where we have these little juts that kind of wind through, and there's really not much, maybe a couple shops appearing along these roads through these passes, but it's kind of cool the way it winds through there over the bridge and that stuff. So the landscape changes. It's definitely not flat. And the bridges over the canyons and the railroads and stuff. Some cool stuff. So we'll bring in some more of these curved roads and up some hills in some of the larger areas. So it's quite a way little drive from that farm over to this one. Shipping harbor with some sell points. Now we have. I'm gonna try to put some lakes in and stuff too. Just some lakes, maybe swampy areas as well in several parts, so other people can help grab the silt from the swamps. But we have this huge river, and I really would like to on the river system. I gotta move some mud out of the road there. We can make a mud. I mean, there's lots of things we could do. I'm thinking of a ATV type park, but not quite like ATV World, but just like a big mud bog where you can race through uh, racetrack mud racing with some jumps and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Just to take up some of this extra space and bringing back some of those things. And yeah, all the canyons and stuff to build up. A lot of work has to be done on this still. Everything that's brown, solid, whoa, needs a little bit of work. But you can start seeing more green out there. That's cool. So yeah, around the farms, there's definitely a lot of flat land. There's going to be a lot, but a lot of this I'm going to start filling in with different things. I'm going to take a look around, see what we can find, and see what other features we want. Now, as far as the shipping harbor, like I said, we're on a wide river, so we're really my goal is to take like the train spline, and you can see this awesome, pretty awesome river that comes through, uh, and goes all the way down. There's a road. I wonder if I could get how to get down to that road. I know you can get down there. I think you gotta go up to the north here. Nope, no passage up north. Well, maybe that coal area is gonna move. No, nothing going through. Oh wait, is that a road? Yeah, yep, there it is. That's where we want to go. So if I can get like the train splines where you can put stops along the way, but use it along the river and have it so you can drive the boat, but it stays on the spline so people aren't tipping it over and bumping things in, then we can open up navigation to drive product up and down this river by boat. That would be something. I'm hoping Big Daddy comes in and sees if he can get a boat on a train spline. We just got to copy over. I mean, it should be doable. Rework some stuff, and then we could put a huge uh, boat transportation up and down the river here, or even a couple, maybe two or three boat splines down here that And we can get down pretty close to the level, so we can put some stops along the way. Uh, don't go in the river. Yeah, along some of these areas. Obviously, there's a field here that has to be removed. That hasn't been yet. Yeah, or a barge to carry equipment up and down the river too. Yep, something like that. I don't know if we can put stuff. Yeah, we should be able to turn something. Maybe a barge with a couple of flat, like a tugboat with a couple barges, pulling a couple barges. That would be awesome. But I don't know what's out there for boats and stuff that we'd have to use because we don't really have 3D modelers uh, on staff. But if we can find that a tugboat, a tug with a couple flatbed barges with some that we can mix up, so you pull a couple up and down. I mean, look how huge this river is. It's just massive. I mean, we could do a lot down through here, but we would need to make some entrance ways down to get the products offloaded in some areas, or just have them pull in below where the factories are. The factories, whoa, clip the car, are obviously up above on the top side, but yeah, the rivers go everywhere. And a lot of this road along the edge needs to have their edges fixed a little bit better. I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. I realize that. But it's looking pretty cool. Look at all that water. I love the bridge network. It's pretty awesome. And you do have to travel around this map to go between the different farms. Uh, that's for sure. And you still got to edit a lot of this terrain as we come through here. Am I bringing the warehouse storage back in like PV? We kind of uh, will redo a warehouse. I don't know what we're going to do, but definitely. Oh, I'm down at the mine. That's where the sand is. So if somebody was asking about mining on this map. We're going to fill actual sand in all through here, spread layers. Which reminds me, I don't know if you guys noticed, but you guys, and then the salt will be piled in back here all over the place. On the PV3 map, you know how we have the gravel back by the gravel pit? Several of you, and myself included, have had it where the shapes would, when especially when using like the Frazee or something to pick up sand or gravel, or the grasshopper, you would get holes in it, and then you would be able to see right through it and drive through. Have you guys had that happen? And did the last patch fix it for you as well? Because if I had that on my map, my single player game, because I was digging tons and tons of sand and gravel, and the gravel area got the holes in it that you could fall through into the piles, and it got messed up. But when the patch came out, it all returned to normal, and it's back to where it was. So Giants messed around with that, and it looks like it's working. I keep forgetting. If I go this way, I got to go all the way around the river. So it is a little tricky. But if I go this way, back up to our mining area, we showed you where sand and gravel is going to be. And, or sand and salt. Back in the corner. And from this side, we definitely got more painting to do on the textures on the mountains and stuff, but you get the picture. Uh, some little weeds or stuff along the side of the roads and stuff like that. We're going to go the back way through up here. There's going to be some hills to traverse if you go the wrong way like I am. Uh, but we started, if you missed last night's show, we started working in a chute here for the stone spawning. I better make a note that I gotta fix the stone spawner so it spawns more than one, because it's not at enough angle. So stone processing is gonna, the rest of it's gonna be over here, but in the mountainside. But what we did was, if you come over this way a little bit further and around the bend, and we'll do a little bit more shaping of these areas as time comes. I want it to look jagged, but still where the roads are, be able to pass them. So as we climb up here, you're going to have the stones spawning up top here, and you will just have right up here along this slope here, they're going to roll down and just sit on the ground here. And all you'll have to do for the stone processing is get your loader or a plow or something over here and shove them into the chute, and they will roll down in to the stone processor. So you won't have to haul them around the map anymore. You just move them around. So mining is going to be a big operation on this map, and there's going to be a lot of product throughout the map. And it's a pretty, this whole mountain is basically set up to mine the different ores and stuff. And we might even come up with some new ones. Anybody know of any other mining material that we could bring in? Now's the time. So these roads are just kind of a little bit fun to drive. And if you come down here, we're going to fill this in. There will be a tunnel. This will be a tunnel, and the roof will come over the top for doing your coal. So maybe tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Thursday when we come back, maybe we'll see if we could do to put a roof over our coal area here. And we're going to backfill this all with millions and millions of coal, just like we did the sand, gravel, and silt on the other map. And that's just the back side of that mountain, those three. If we come out here and wrap around this way, it's a huge, huge place. Kind of reminds me of the old gravel pit in PV 15, because it's scattered in, I mean, the one we drove down into, but this time it's just up in the mountains, and there's so much area here. We can actually literally put some garages down here and stuff for mining equipment. That's all to come down there. I want to bring the big cats loaders back. Yeah, it's gonna be dark when I hope, when we put the roof on that thing. So we'll be digging gravel out up here in this area right here. We'll be working it out. I just quickly colored it. We gotta fix it up a little bit. We'll be digging some gravel through here, and you'll be able to go up a little further. Yeah, we did marble at one point. This is your stone, the loose stone. Actually, you can drive up here. I'd love to get some excavators, possibly. Remember we had excavators that made you dig it out of water, the big... We'll have to look into equipment before we get too far with this mountain stuff. But we'll fill up stone in this area, and as you literally drive around this mountain, up the paths, I definitely need to put more rocky edges on some of this, but I could see us on our save game doing some crazy, who can make find the biggest jump. We used to do that all the time. So the ore will be piled in back here. We'll be shoveling ore out of this area. And it literally flattens out a little bit. We could put some more garages around the edges. We're gonna make this really a really awesome looking mine. We have sand, and then it comes right around to this side where we have the stone processing area going in. So we did a whole loop pretty much all the way around this mountain on all these paths, and you can jump back down to Wipeout. Yeah, let's see if we land on our wheels. I usually don't. down to the sand and salt area down here. So there will be a lot of mining going on throughout the hills here. And we'll decorate this up a little bit, finish it up. It'll look, I think it's going to look even better than it does now, but it is kind of a cool landscape to drive on. So yeah, I could see us now uh, finding these areas to, hey, let's see if we can hit that and let's see how far we can jump off of this one right here. Not far enough. But there's a lot of those places around here. Oh, come on, wheels, wheels. Good job. You have your job back. Yay. Diamonds. Precious stones would be kind of cool. Oh yeah, if we can get some gold equipment for doing the gold, we'll have an area set up somewhere up there in the mountains for doing the gold too. And because I'm not super cruel, uh, we kind of, and you're not hauling all the way across the map. This is where the concrete factory is. Yeah, you'll have to bring concrete down out of the mountain, but at least, I mean, the sand and gravel and stuff out of the mountain, at least it's close by, you know? You won't have to drive it all the way to somewhere else. All right. I think we're, anybody got any questions or anything, suggestions that you know where to find me. But I think we're gonna close out for today, and well, we'll drive down to this farm. Maybe we'll work around. I'm gonna just keep working a little bit around. I like where we did over there on that farm for today. Next time we're here, let me do some research and see what we have for buildings and stuff to redo some factory. We're just gonna keep going, and maybe we'll expand out on one of these other farms like this one here. We got to build in its little area for the town area where that's going to be, and then bring out some fields on this one too. We can put a house back there on that farm still. I think everybody needs to have a farmhouse. I do like the fact that, yeah, we got to put a house over at at the other farms, because I do like the fact that you could say I'm home. But I haven't looked around for new building models and stuff in quite some time, so we'll try to mix things up. I don't even know if we have a barn on some of the farms yet. I'm gonna have to make a checklist. We need straw cell barns because every farm's gonna have all the independent operations of a single size map just about, except for animals will be spread out. Uh, but you all have your own BGAs and that stuff. Hey Scott, bringing the house from the platinum. I haven't. Can you walk through that? I don't know if we can get into the platinum. It's not. It's a DLC. It's all sealed up. So that'd be kind of cool. But isn't it kind of uh like I'll have to check it out. I haven't even really looked. I still got to carve out the driveway of this. Actually, you know how it dips down and there's actually a garage there? You actually could just leave a driveway in here if you wanted to. But I will cut it out. All the pieces are there. But it's going to be pretty awesome. And you'll be able to do all that and more. Some pretty big farming operations coming in. You can walk in it. I'm going to check that out. Oh, actually, that's what we'll do. I will jump in. I'll bring up that map because now you got me curious. I want to see what it's like. Uh, and then we'll do that for the end of the show. It is now. We've been on there for 3 hours today. At least we got you another 3 hours. And I like to kind of goof off a little bit at the end of the show. So let's jump in there and see what he's talking about at the farmhouse. I do like the garages and the doors, but I don't think we can pull anything out of this map because it's a sealed DLC. So If I could, though, there are a few things. They forgot to put a dairy barn or milk tank on the farm, but you can walk through the house. Well, let's check it out. I have been on this farm for a total of, on this map, probably a total of 10 minutes and just drove around quick and cut down a. My big test was to cut down a palm tree. And I did. There's some decorative trees you can't cut that I really liked, but they're fat ones that would have looked good. I don't know. I like to have trees that people can cut down, but in parks or something, maybe we'll. I mean, look at that tree there. It's a beautiful tree, and the sidewalks are pretty cool here too. To bring in some of that and mix it up, that's a nice house. So you can walk in this thing? Oh, check it out. The doors open up. Awesome. Finally, yeah, that is. Can we throw pillows? Are they throw pillows? Can we throw anything like books? Can't pick up the books? No, but look at that. Yeah, if I could find a way to. And all the doors, sliding door. That is pretty cool. Let's go upstairs. See if there's anybody in the bedroom. That is pretty nice. Can this door open? Oh, yeah, look at that. Check that out. And a terrace back here. Wow, it's probably the best building they've ever done. All these sliding doors. Oh, laundry room, another bedroom. So there's literally, they thought of everything. A bathroom here with laundry in it. Can we take a shower? They didn't think of everything, or I would have been able to open the shower door and maybe toss the toothpaste around. But no, that is pretty wild, I must say. And the stairway, oh, look at that. A chest. And a back little winding staircase in the. There's a lot to see in this house. They forgot to put the dairy, but oh, can we go swimming? We're in the swimming pool. Yeah, I actually like the lighter grass. I just don't like it with the red. I don't know. The red dirt looks a little bit fake to me. I don't know about to you guys, but some of these trees I think would look pretty cool in a. I don't think you can cut all these. Let's see. I didn't try these thin ones, but I want trees that can be cut. Where's the chainsaw? Chainsaw. Any trees I bring in the map. Oh yeah. So we can mix it up with some. If I could just get the tree files out of this map, we could bring in some different decorative tree styles and really make the map look kind of cool. Because those are you can cut down, and they've got these ferns and stuff that we could use. But in our map, it would look completely different with the without the red. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little. There's some cool things about it, for sure. Just let's see. Oh, there's the one of the sugarcane harvesters. I haven't even used one yet, but that's pretty wild looking. Of course, you know me. I get uh, I go crazy with these little farms where you have to find your way out of them. So these garages are pretty nice, but they're yeah, definitely some cool buildings and stuff. What do we have over here? And there's some different fence that looks pretty good. But we'll see. I don't think we'll be able to get anything out of here, but we might be able to. I'm not sure. I've got somebody working on that case. Who shall remain nameless. Uh, see if we can pull some stuff. Look at those silos. It'd be nice. Those silos would be kind of cool to replace the boring little ones we have, wouldn't it? On our big farms, bring in those silos. That would be awesome too. And the ramps. Yeah. We'll see what we could do. So we've got time, and by the time we get that map done, somebody will have cracked it open and have it up on ModHub or modhub.us or whatever it is, where all the ripped off stuff goes. All right, folks, I think that's going to be. You want the silos off the aggravation. I haven't even looked at the aggravation map you're talking about, KW. I'm going to have to find that. I'm making a note of it right now because apparently it sounds pretty good. I've got Hofbergman, aggravation. See what we have on some of those things. Uh, we've got the big power line system. We can definitely do power grid like we did on the new map too. We got to get a lot of detail into there, but that's some awesome power lines right there. Remember if we had them? I mean, yeah, if you got to go around them because they're in a couple fields, but I think we can. If I get the power grid in soon, we could get it so it doesn't go through the fields. Oh, aggravation's a huge field. I'm running through. I can't see, but I wanted to check out this power lines. That's a pretty awesome set right there. We got plenty of room for putting those across our map. That would be so cool. A power grid like that. Yeah, that's a nice. Those are some nice towers right there. So there are good things in here, definitely. Yeah, I wish we could have power, like I said, powering all of. Look at the chain link. Even the chain link fence is nice in here. You know, nice chain link for a change. I'd love to be able to use that in the light posts. Some of it, when we just put it into our new environment, it'll fit just fine. Is that actually movable garbage or no? Little garbage bin, little bus, decorative buses. I don't know if that's part of the park traffic or not, but shop and lubrication. Yeah, decorative traffic cars. Let's jump into convertible. Oh, yep. We'll have to see what we can do. All right, guys. Yeah, have a good night. Thank you there, Eagle, and we'll be off tomorrow, but we'll see if we can get back and do this all over on Thursday. We'll be. Thanks there, KW, for that link. And yeah, we'll try to get. I'll keep posted. I'll put in the message line when the next show's gonna be as soon as I know. But I'm shooting for the Thursday double 5 and 8 o'clock shows again, unless something comes up between now and then. So that's the tentative plan. Everybody have a great night, and we'll catch you then. Thanks for watching.